Hi everyone, my name is Sandra and this is Northern Zen Yoga, and today I'm going to give you a series of tutorials on some of the postures that you may be having the most difficulty with, especially when we begin yoga and we haven't done any stretching and we're quite tight in the hips and the knees and the shoulders. So if you're doing these modifications at the same time as I am doing a call out to do, for example, a seated pose, Sucasana, you can just modify this in any of the ways that I'm going to show you now. And then eventually you'll find that you'll be able to go deeper and deeper into the stretch and find your place on the mat again. So usually the first thing that we have difficulty with, and remember, whenever we're doing yoga, we need to listen to our body. We need to not go into a place of pain. So if you're not able to get down onto the mat comfortably without having a lot of difficulty, use a chair. Most of my yoga videos, with just maybe a couple of adjustments, can be done sitting in a chair. And that's perfectly okay. As long as you're feeling what you're doing yoga. So if you decide you're going to use a chair for your seated pose, you can just sit on the edge of the chair if you like, if that's a comfortable way to get your feet touching ground, because your feet need to be touching the floor. You can't have your feet dangling off of the chair, or even just tippy toes touching. Make sure whatever chair you use, wherever you're sitting, your feet can comfortably meet the floor. We're going to sit upright. We're not going to lean back into the chair and get comfy. No, we're going to sit nice, strong torso. You can use your thighs in order to be able to give you a little bit of stability if you're feeling a little bit, not too comfortable here. So using your thighs, never use your knees. We're leaning into the big muscles and the big bones, and they can support our weight without a problem. So if I say go into your easy pose, for you, this is going to be your easy pose. So we're just going to cross the feet at the ankles, and we're going to rest on the sides of our feet. Our knees are open. And if this feels pretty good, and it feels very comfortable, this is where you want to be. Now, if you're feeling a bit of a strain in the hip joint or in the thighs, that's probably a good thing too. But if you're feeling pain here, then you're going to need to maybe put a cushion where your leg and your thighs meet the edge of the chair. Whatever you want to do to make this a little more comfortable is fine. But what we want to do is, if we're sitting close to the edge of the chair, we want to bring our feet in as close as we can so that we feel the opening up of the hip joint as our knees spread out. From here, you can come into your relaxed pose and start to practice your breathing. And if I say to you, we're going to switch up the feet now, we're going to bring the front foot forward, or front foot back and the back foot forward, all you're going to do is rearrange your ankle cross. So there you go. You're ready to do easy pose. Now, from this position, close to the edge of the chair, it might be a little bit tricky to do the forward fold that we do in easy pose. But if you move yourself back just a little bit so that you feel a little more stable on the chair, and I say we're going to do arms up and forward fold, this is what you are going to do. You're going to come down, bringing your belly down between the thighs, using the thigh muscles as leverage to help to support you. If your chair is big enough and wide enough, you can also hang on to the sides of the chair. And let yourself come down, nice, strong, flat back all the way down, bringing your chin down toward the floor. And when you come back up, either using the side of the chair or your thigh muscles, you're going to push in to lift your body back up again. Hopefully this will help. Now let's say that you can get to the floor, it's just getting the knees to the floor that's the problem. Let's have a look at that. So we're sitting in our easy pose, and maybe your easy pose looks like this. And this is pretty stressful for you. That's okay. Feel the pose. This is perfectly fine. If you need to bring blocks in to the sides to help give you a little support, that's okay. If you'd like to hang on to your shin bones to add that support around the legs, just be sure you're not taking the stretch away. That's an important thing because the stretch is what we're going for. We want to feel that tension, that stretching feeling coming up the legs toward the knees. Eventually and ultimately, you're going to start to shift lower and lower. When I first started to do yoga 8 years ago, this is where I was. This was not comfortable either. I had a really hard time even getting to the floor to begin with. Well, they didn't have the option of chairs to be used in the yoga studio I was going to, so I had to get down on the floor. I stayed close to the wall so that I could use the wall for support to get up and down. And when I was asked to go into the forward fold, this was my forward fold. I felt it. And you probably, if you're here, you're feeling it too. So know you're doing a good thing. That this is not, oh, I can't do this yoga thing because this is all I can do. That is yoga. Yoga is a journey. It's getting your body to start to open up again. So, as your knees start to drift down toward the floor, if you're at any time feeling pain, you may need to use some support by putting blankets or blocks. But if it's just that achy, wonderful stretch, live with it. Go with it. You'll be fine. Now, the other thing that might be happening in easy pose is you can't get your feet this close to your body because of your knees. But you can get on the floor, and you're doing quite well there as far as that goes, but it's just bending the knees that's the hard part. So feel free to move your legs away from you as much as you need to in order to get into the cross leg position. So if you're feeling just a nice stretch in across the knees, up toward the groin area, then you're fine. If you're not feeling anything, then maybe you need to see if you can just start to pull those ankles just a little closer until you start to engage yourself into that stretch. So whenever you're here in this position, your forward fold would be coming forward like this, down, reaching for the floor, pushing your belly down between the thighs. Remember, in the forward fold too, we're never bringing our head down to the floor, we're bringing our belly down to the floor. And that's what you have to keep in mind. Don't worry about where your head and shoulders are. Just think about pushing in between the thighs, trying to bring your tummy down closer and closer and closer to the floor. I hope this helped for easy pose. I have a series of videos I'm putting together for you for all the other things that you might be finding difficult to do. So thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.